Hello everybody, this is Danny from Deep South Homestead. We're in our sugarcane patch this year. As you've seen just prior to this, we're making some rows up. We're fixing to extend our sugarcane patch like I told you in one of the prior videos. We want to try to make more syrup on our farm here and more sweetener so we don't have to buy any from the stores, being it's all predominantly contaminated with Roundup now. So what we're doing is the fall of the year. I've learned over the years of life that if you plant the cane in the early fall, it has more of a time to develop a root system so that next spring when it comes up, it already has a real good root system and you get really good stalks out of it usually. So what we're doing is I'm taking and I'm going just above this last solid joint right here and I'm clipping it off. And then what we'll do is come down level with the ground and we'll clip it again there. And then what we'll do, I'll come over here out of the sun where maybe I can explain it a little bit better. Cane has eyes on it. The cane here, you'll see there's an eye here. And you move down, there's another eye there. And on alternating sides, there will be an eye and an eye. They alternate one another. Now what happens is, if you put this whole stalk in the ground, and say these down here begin to root first, a lot of times these up here, these eyes will never develop because all the nutrition will go down here and only this end of the stalk. If you're going to do that, you usually have to plant two stalks side by side in order to make it, and you have to overlap them to get a good stand. But what we're going to be doing is, because sugarcane in our part of the world doesn't grow long enough to make a seed head, we're going to be planting the stalk itself, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut it into pieces. Because if you cut it into pieces, then these eyes will more likely develop than they will if you try to put the whole stalk in the ground. So what I like to do is I like to put 1, 2, 3, 4. I like to cut it right after the fourth one. Like that's an eye, there's an eye on the alternating side, there's an eye there, there's an eye there. I like to cut mine in between it. That way I have 4 eyes on this particular piece of cane to actually sprout and come up. And I'll do the same thing again. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll cut it again. Now, because this last piece has this new growth on it, a lot of times those eyes are not developed enough to actually come up, so I will leave this whole piece the length that it is, even though it has more eyes. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 eyes on this one. There's a good chance that these last 2 will not come up. And what we do with these is we'll bring them over. This is our row that we have opened up in the garden here. We'll lay these down end past end like this. And we'll continue to do that all the way down these rows until we get all the rows full, and then we'll come back with our plows and we'll bed this up for the winter. Wanda's toting the tops out of the cane patch. We have all of our fodder and everything out of here. We take it and we pile it on the ends because I like clean cane rows when I get through, because I like to take my tractor and plow dirt back over the top of them. Alright, we're taking a break from cutting the cane. We've got some left here. We've planted the whole field, and just going to take a break and show you one of the things that you do with sugar cane. This is a chewing cane here now. We're going to cut some of it here. Show you how you cut it for making it for chewing. We're going to cut us off some here. Now you start right here where this little ring is at. You want to go just above that. I'm going to just use a lopper. Cut that off. Get that out of the way. And you do the same thing on this end. What you do is you take that right there and you just start peeling that outer surface off of it. Now, this used to be a favorite pastime when we were kids. When they were doing cane and all, we'd always get a piece of cane, and one of the older people there would sit down and strip the peelings off the outsides of it. Kind of like that. And I can remember the old people, they'd cut it in half and they'd strip it into quarters like that, and those were called candy sticks. You can stick them in your mouth and chew them, and it's really just pure sweet sugar is all it is, but it's in its natural form. Now you don't eat the pulp off of it. You just kind of squeeze it between your teeth and mash your juice out in your mouth. And then when you get that end done, you turn it over, and then when you get all the juice out of it, you just throw it out to the side and you have another one. And that's what Wanda and I are going to do here for a few minutes. We're just going to sit down and relax now that we got all the cane cut down, and most of it's planted. We don't have it all planted yet, but we're just taking a little break. And we're going to have some candy sticks here for a few minutes. There they are. That's what it looks like. That's what you call chewing cane right there.
And this is 3 new rows of cane. And we have 3 that we just chopped down.